Yang berbahagia Tan Sri, yang berbahagia Datuk-Datuk di jemputan, CEO Talk siri pertama 2018 diteruskan lagi. Majlis dengan segala hormatnya menjemput dan mempersilakan yang berbahagia Profesor Tan Sri Datuk Dzulkifli Abdul Razak, Pengurusi Lembaga Pengarah Universiti Sains Islam Malaysia USIM, bagi menyampaikan ceramah yang bertajuk Fourth Industrial Revolution, The CEO Dilemma. Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Saudara pengurusi majlis yang berbahagia, Datuk Haji Abang Sibli, Abang Naili, Pengurus Besar Tabung Baitul Mal Sarawak, Yang Mulia Tengku Azmi, Tengku Majid, Pengarah Perbadanan Produktiviti Malaysia, Datuk-datuk hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, saya terlebih dahulu ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada Yang Mulia Tengku kerana berani mempelawa saya untuk datang bercakap di Sarawak ini. Dan saya sendiri merasakan Sarawak ini adalah satu tempat yang cukup baik untuk memberi ceramah dan mengadakan perbincangan seumpama ini. Kerana rata-rata saya merasakan Sarawak ini mempunyai satu jati diri yang agak berbeza dengan negeri-negeri lain di Semenanjung. That I think you are daring enough to lead. Yeah? And I find that sometimes in Malaysia, a question of leadership is one of the most critical question. And after listening to Yang Berhormat tadi, ternyata bahawa Sarawak has got its own vision within Malaysia and beyond Malaysia. And saya sebagai seorang yang bergerak dalam bidang ini merasakan this is what we want. Kita memerlukan satu daya pemikiran yang bukan saja terkongkong di dalam Malaysia tetapi juga di luar Malaysia. Dan sekali lagi saya cukup terperanjat bila masuk tadi tengok ini ke Baitul Mal. I've not seen a building of Baitul Mal sebesar ini. Yeah. And when I discuss dengan pengurus besar tadi, you want to make this into a global center, which alhamdulillah, this is what I think we should be looking for. So my discussion today is going around that. Kita bercakap tentang the fourth industrial revolution ni selalu, and I'm sure you have heard many of this discussion before. Yeah? But my presentation is basically how do you talk about the fourth industrial revolution, but at the same time stays in a context that you do not lose what Sarawak is all about, you do not lose what Malaysia is all about, and for us Muslim, we do not lose also what Islam is all about. And I think that is a bigger discussion of just looking at what fourth industrial revolution, the way we understand it in many discussion that I'm sure you have had. Yeah? Let me move a little bit. So I would want to talk to you about the dilemma. Dilemma ini maksudnya bukan saya menidakkan the fourth industrial revolution. I think it is very necessary, but you must know what are you getting into. Yeah, it's just like buying a house. You want to buy a house, everybody should buy a house. Yeah, but what sort of house? Where is the what environment? And how do you actually contain whatever that is not preference to you in the context of buying the house? Yeah? So I want to talk about the dilemma in the sense of three very major things before we even decide where we want to go as far as the industrial revolution is concerned. And certainly I think this has a very close relationship with MPC. Yeah? The first dilemma is, what is fourth industrial revolution? Apa itu revolusi industri keempat? Adakah dianya satu event? Ya? Ataupun ianya sebagai satu continuous event? Give you an example, kalau malam ini kita tengok drama, dan drama itu episod keempat. Ya? Dan kita tengok dan kemudiannya kita make some decision on the drama. Kalau berkelahi isteri dengan suami, we will make a decision sama ada isteri betul ataupun suami betul on the fourth episode. But the moment you look at the third episode sebelum itu, kita mendapat satu lagi bahan dan ataupun maklumat yang lain yang boleh menukar decision kita. So my issue is basically, what is fourth industrial revolution? Is it an event or is it a continuous event? If it is an event, I think we can finish this discussion today. You got a guideline? Yeah? You read the guideline, they will tell you number 1 to number 10 what to do. All right, katanya rethink your business model, design your customer, adopt models, innovation model, and finally you put humanity before machines. Yeah, I don't think that's difficult enough. Most of you are very experienced CEO. You probably can follow this through, and then you can probably arrive at the 4th industrial revolution, so to speak. Yeah? But then if you talk about just that, you find the story is quite different when you talk about the industrial revolution per se. We need to go back 250 years, 1760, to understand what industrial revolution is all about. Ini tengok episode yang sebelum itu. We go back 200 years or 250 years later, and you begin to see different story. 250 years ago, the industrial revolution started with water and steam. Itu yang membolehkan pemikiran kita bertukar menjadi satu industri yang baru. Yeah? And that steam engine will then start making facilities for other industrial purposes, and finally we arrive at what we call the steam engine. Some steam engine, nanti dekat Sabah there's still some steam engine, a kind of antique that goes around, and you'll find that the steam engine changes life because transportation is better and work processes is better, and so on and so forth. So much so that it will lead to another set in the revolution, which is the second industrial revolution. And the second industrial revolution berpaksikan not on water and steam but electricity. And you can other things that comes into play, radio, TV, and so on and so forth. Benda yang lumrah yang kita rasakan, which is normal for us today, but 150 years ago it becomes a revolution. Yeah? But that is not the end of the story. The story will then tell you that it also changed the structure of society. Yeah? Kalau dulu society kita agaknya lebih mesra dengan satu sama lain, yeah, because we are almost at the same level. Now we have created another structure of an investor sitting on an asset yang ditampung oleh pekerja-pekerja. The word boss, B-O-S-S, arrives in the dictionary in the year about 1800. Sebelum itu konsep boss ni tak ada. Kita semua rakan sekerja. Yeah? No question of boss and I need to answer to a person. I'm not a worker, I'm not an employee, we are together dalam keadaan bekerja bersama, peladang and so on and so forth. But this revolution created a new structure, and that is structure that we inherit today. We've got bosses after bosses after bosses, and di bawah sekali ini adalah pekerja kita. When you talk about productivity, Tengku, that's a person that we need to deal with. Dia menanggung beban seberat-beratnya yang diberikan oleh bosses and investment, and sometimes they are not provided for. Yeah? Rumahnya tak menentu, gajinya tak menentu, hidupnya tak menentu, and yet he is supposed to work and make money and make profit for the company as such. It changes the structure of society, and I think that's an important thing to realize. Yeah? Bila kita bawa satu industri ke Sarawak ini, it changes the structure of the people around that industry, if not the whole country itself. That's an important point that I think that we need to understand. Yeah? And then we go into this whole idea of bila ada je steam ini, kita tengok asap yang keluar tu. What does it mean? It begins to pollute the environment. Environment wasn't polluted before because there was no smoke or fume of that nature yang keluar. And we begin to pollute what? We begin to pollute the water that we need to use. We begin to pollute the air that we need to breathe. Yeah? And a new change has come into society. Right? And by the time we realize this, we begin to start an industry yang katakan clean industry. Electronics and so on and so forth. No fumes, no smoke. Fine. Yeah? But by the time we start that, we already gone into what we call the global warming. And the global warming yang kita cakap sekarang ini bermulanya 250 tahun yang lalu. It's not a problem of yesterday. It's not a problem of 100 years ago. It's a problem that we started with the first industrial revolution. I want you to have this idea. That kita bawa sesuatu hari ini, tapi kesannya mungkin beratus tahun tidak akan selesai. Now we are faced with this idea of global warming. You can see the smoke coming out from all these chimneys, yeah, that is now pressurizing us into climate change. The disaster that you see from time to time is something which is new because of global warming, because of climate change. Yeah? And therefore, when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, bagi saya, pertama yang kita nak tanya, what is the impact of this fourth industrial revolution as a consequence of the three industrial revolution? Will it reduce pollution? Will it create more discrimination? Will it make you a better life? What does it give us as a kind of response in bringing this fourth industrial revolution as a concept to a particular place? Yeah? What is sure, apa yang tentu, dia akan meningkatkan GDP. And in fact, bagi saya, this is the reason why people talk about the fourth industrial revolution. To increase economy, to increase GDP, but at the expense of who? The workers, the environment, the climate. Apa yang akan menjadi akibat daripada this higher GDP? Then let's see some results. Yeah? For example, kalau kita go back to the first industrial revolution somewhere here, kalau kita tengok ekonominya dulu sama rata saja, tidak kira dia di Eropah ataupun di Asia, yeah, they are almost the same. But the moment you have fourth industrial revolution here around there, you find that the curve begins to move. And that's mainly in Europe, Britain, France, Germany, Italy and Spain, because that's where the industrial revolution were at that particular time. In countries like China, India, Japan, kita dapat the graph dia lebih kurang saja, tidak menaik seperti mana di Eropah. So the first thing that we understand is industrial revolution bring economic growth, which is fine. Yeah? And wherever it is, it will happen. But the consequence of that, yeah, look at the environment. Sebelum industrial revolution, the 15th century, kita punya resources selalunya menggunakan animal dengan biomass, which is natural stuff. Yeah? It doesn't cause pollution, it doesn't cause destruction to the environment. But look, the moment kita ada industrial revolution, the first thing yang kita gunakan adalah arang, coal, to start the steam engine. And you begin to see the use of coal, early 20th century dah banyak. Yeah, the amount is very much, and therefore the pollution that it creates is also equivalent to that. We begin to realize it, then we begin to cut down coal. And apa yang kita gunakan? Kita gunakan natural gases, kita gunakan oil and so on and so forth. I think that's a relevant issue now because you already got Petros. Yeah? Petros will be thinking about how to use oil, how to use natural gases in replacement of coal. Maybe that's a good thing for Sarawak. And that's why I think the thinking in Sarawak in this particular case is quite different. Barulah sampai 21st century ni, we talk about renewable energies. We talk about hydrogen, we talk about nuclear as an alternative so that we reduce the dependence on coal, oil, natural gases and so on and so forth. Yeah? But then if you see what happens next, is katalah electricity consumption mainly masih fossil fuel. This is the oil that you talk about. Yeah, and it goes up and up and up. Dan ini yang menyebabkan the climate change and the global warming that we talk about. So you begin to see, if you look at the different episodes, what are the changes that it brought? Just by bringing an industry into a particular location. The industry may be prospering, the local population may be prospering. By the end of the day, whether it becomes something that all of us will prosper at the same time is an issue that you all need to decide. Yeah? But what is important for me, bahawa kita nak tentukan bahawa the temperature of the earth will not increase by 1%. Because the moment it increases by 1%, we find that the global warming cannot be reversed anymore. Yeah? And that's a challenge that all of us must sort of bear in mind. Whatever industry you bring in, you must make sure that the whole temperature of the place will not go up as much as that. But kalau kita tengok, all the studies menunjukkan kalau kita tidak betul-betul menjaganya, we go more than 2%, more than 2 Celsius. And that means a disaster not only for Sarawak, but the whole world, particularly because we share the same climate as it were. Yeah? So you begin to see some of this impact quite clearly when we look at studies like this. Arctic misalnya, in 1984, we still got about 6 million, or almost 7 million square kilometers of ice. But by the time kita sampai 2012, kita dapati it is reduced almost to 50%. Meaning most of this has melted, it's gone into the sea level, the sea level will rise, and some of the low-lying lands will be flooded. And these are mainly in the South Pacific and the small island states in Caribbean and so on and so forth. Maknanya, orang akan menderita because of this consequence that we created, and we are not willing to sort of let go as far as this is concerned. So this is the general idea that I want you to think about when you talk about the consequences of Industrial Revolution before. Yeah? But this is something that I think that you'll be interested in. Again, this is the first Industrial Revolution here, the second Industrial Revolution there. By the third Industrial Revolution, which is about 1950 onwards, kita nampak kita punya graph semua dah mula menaik. Yeah, you take whatever sajalah. And we are going into what we call the Anthropocene age. Anthropocene age ini mengatakan kepada kita, we will be destroying our own civilization. Kita akan merosakkan tamadun kita sendiri kerana kita tidak berhati-hati dalam membuat apa saja aktiviti yang kita hendak lakukan. Yeah? And some people plot the GDP is up, but so is everything else. Yeah? The loss of tropical rainforest, which is Sarawak known for, that could be one also that is going also at the same time. Yeah? The loss of species also making at the same time. Yeah? Do you find that the concentration of CO2 pun juga meningkat? Maknanya, as we measure GDP, we just talk about the numbers. 4%, 4.5%, 6%, which is good, but what happened to the rest? What is the consequence of that 4%? What is the consequence of that 6%? Kalau dia 4%, dan dia menghapuskan hutan dan rimba. Kalau dia 4%, dia menghapuskan juga spesies-spesies. Kalau dia 4%, dia meningkatkan juga CO2, I think it's not worth the 4%. Yeah? And that's why some countries moderate their development because they don't want the negative effect of the environment on the species as such. All right? And I think this is something, again, as people who want to decide which way to go, you must understand what are the future consequences of the development that you bring to your particular place. Yeah? If that is not clear for us, this is something which is, I think, very clear. Ini the first industrial revolution di sini. Kalau kita tengok spesies-spesies yang ada, by elephant, by birds, by fish and so on and so forth, they are there. There's no threat to their existence. But the moment you go into the first revolution here, you find that many of the species are being threatened, are going to an extinct place, what we call the sixth mass extinction yang akan berlaku. Dan juga ada orang kata ada sudah berlaku. Yeah? You find that you probably will see no elephant anymore. Alright. Sekarang ni pun kalau kita suruh anak kita melukis ayam, draw me a chicken, what do you get? You get a drumstick. Yeah? Because that's the only chicken that they saw. Every day, KFC punya chicken. The real chicken, they have not seen it. Very soon, they will not be able to draw even an elephant, even a bird, even a fish. Because these will go extinct at the same time. Alright? And this is not something which is new. Magazine like Times has talked about it, 1989, right? But we have not done much about it because we think this is not affecting the industrial production and so on and so forth. We think this is something which is separate from what we used to have. Yeah? So I would want to just make an assumption bahawa apa yang berlaku sekarang ini, baik dari segi ekonominya, ekologinya, dari segi sosialnya, ataupun dari segi geopolitiknya, semuanya boleh kita kesan balik. We can trace back to the first industrial revolution. In other words, it's no point talking about the fourth industrial revolution without paying attention or learning from the lesson of what the first industrial revolution bring to us, and before you move on into the new phase of so-called industrial revolution. So when you talk about the fourth industrial revolution, the question to you is basically, Adakah dia akan meningkatkan ekonomi? Mungkin, ya. Ada dia akan menjanamkan alam sekitar? Juga mungkin, ya. Ataupun adakah dia akan membesarkan lagi ataupun meluaskan lagi jurang di antara yang kaya dengan yang miskin? Saya rasa juga mungkin. Dan adakah kita akan mendapat lagi peperangan? I will tell you, we will also see that when you find that the fourth industrial revolution take place. Yeah? So that's the first one. The first one you need to decide whether it's just an event. Kalau kerajaan kata, okay, this is the blueprint, now please implement it. Will you just say, I'm going to implement it? Or do you make some research and find out before implementing it, what will be the consequence? What lesson can we learn? What is the story behind the stories before you get into that particular decision making? Yeah? The second dilemma bagi saya is to look at what is the role of technology and what is our role as human being. Technocentrism dengan anthropocentrism. Anthropo is a word for human being. Yeah? Where do we put this whole equation into being after we have decided? Why the fourth industrial revolution? Yeah? The fourth industrial revolution, the word Industry 4.0 ini is coined by the Germans in Hanover conference, maybe in 2009 I think, or 2008. Yeah? Why did they do that? Because if you look at the German punya fertility rate, you tengok dia dah merosot sampai ke bawah. In other words, they don't produce young population anymore. Yeah? There's no workers that can go into the industry. There's no workers that can take jobs, yeah, at the age like ours, group of youth, yeah, and not only German, but almost the whole European, including United States, punya profile are there. There's no workers, and there's no workers. What do? You use machines to supplement your workers, and therefore they create machines to do this. And that's why we talk about automation, we talk about all the other things that we talk about as far as artificial intelligence to supplement the lack of population that can go into industry. And yet, when you look at the statistic, memang the declining unemployment. Yeah? Early last year, January 17, kita dah mula nampak tidak ada lagi. Employment is saturated. And therefore, what do they need? They need then machines to take this over. Now, that is a story of German. But what is the story of Sarawak? We still have got very vibrant population, very young population. Even Malaysia pun very young population. And we still have a lot of unemployment. Graduates yang keluar pun tak ada kerja. Yeah? MEF baru ini mengatakan 50,000 jobs will be lost in 2018 because there's not enough jobs created. At least that's from the Malaysian employer punya federation punya point of view. In other words, kalau kita implement the fourth industrial revolution that use machine and automation, we are going to create a worse social disaster. Budak-budak tidak akan dapat kerja, yeah, when they're very young and they're supposed to look for employment. So the reason that the Germans do it and the reasons that we want to do it must be different. It cannot be the same because the context is different. And that's where the dilemma comes in. Where do you pitch fourth industrial revolution in a context where there is high unemployment, in a context where there is a young population looking for jobs when there is not enough jobs? And therefore your decision must be different as compared to the Germans as such. Okay? We are told to digitize or die. Everything needs to be digitized. Yeah? Before that, we were told innovate or die. Anytime Tom Peters, innovate or die. Now, digitize or die. Yeah? Seolah-olah kita ni tidak ada choice langsung. Right? And sometimes we bought into this and we get into trouble because the whole process doesn't jive into the context that we talked about. Yeah? I just want to tell you basically what are we going into if you do digitalization membuta tulis saja. Right? These are examples of what we look at. At the end of the day, this is what we will get. Mana manusia, mana robot. This is a professor that create dia punya lookalike. Kadang-kadang dia tak pergi kuliah, dia ni bagi kuliah. You know? And this is where bila kita cakap tentang STEM, I also got problems with it. STEM maknanya apa? Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. Ya. Di mana bidang-bidang kemanusiaannya? Di mana bidang-bidang social science-nya? Di mana bidang-bidang falsafahnya yang menjadikan manusia itu manusia? Ya. You do STEM, you get this. This guy needs something else. This guy needs philosophy. This guy needs religion. This guy needs management. This guy needs literature. Ya. Sebab itu dalam universiti, kalau kata di USIM, kita tak pakai STEM. Kita pakai stream. Science, Technology, Religion, E Ethics, A Arts, and M Management. Baru terangkum semua bidang itu, then you become a very comfortable CEO. Because you know all this bidang that is affecting life of a person. Yeah? And some university, because dia bukan Islam, dia tak ada STEAM, dia tak pakai stream, dia pakai STEAM dia. Science, Technology, Ethics, Arts and Management. And that's the kind of knowledge that we need, because otherwise we will get into some issues yang menjadikan masalah. Ya? So we are now in the university disuruh buat curriculum STEM 4.0. Ya? Soalan saya, di mana curriculum 3.0-nya, 2.0-nya, 1.0-nya? How can you straight away jump into 4.0 macam cerita industri tadi? How do you go to 4.0 without understanding 1.0? And we need to also make that kind of calculation before we can decide which way to go. Yeah? Why I say STEM is not important, or why it's not adequate, bukan not important, not adequate, because despite the technology advancement, humanity has failed to solve many problems. Some of the problems that we talked during tea today. Yeah? What are the problems? The problem is the world hasn't even weaned itself of fossil fuel. You're going to have petrol, so you're going to have more fossil fuel coming out. We are now facing a big antibiotic problem. Maybe you are not aware of this. Yeah? We now cannot treat diseases anymore because antibiotic resistance is very high. Next week there will be a big conference untuk macam mana kita nak menyelesaikan masalah resistant ini. Yeah? And again, when you talk antibiotic, it will come from fossil fuel because they are all petroleum based. Another issue. We have not even solved the problem of rainforests in Sarawak, massive rainforests. How do you protect them from being invaded by development and destroying the nature that we have? Yeah? We have not even started thinking of the question of mental illness. It's the biggest problem that is emerging among youngsters in schools. Kita bercakap tentang bully, kita bercakap tentang soal sexual harassment. Why? Now we are beginning to trace some of them are undergoing a lot of mental stress in schools. Yeah? 18% of the population below 30 are suspected to have mental depression. And we don't talk about this when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution. Of course, the question of flood, of course, the question of energy consumption, and so on and so forth. So maksudnya, industry can be advanced, but your society may not be as advanced until and unless we begin to solve some of this problem that may originate from the industry itself and from development itself. And that's why saya merasakan STEM alone is not adequate. You must add a lot more things, and courses of this nature saya rasa akan membantu kita merapatkan jurang yang ada. Right? Now, kalau kita katalah there is this now the third industrial revolution dah habis, we are going to the fourth. Let us see the impact. Yeah? And the impact is done in a study. Kalau kita condense the 7 billion population in the world today, we condense it into a village of just 100%, so that we can get the 100% punya count. Bayangkan kita ada satu kampung hanya 100 orang. Yeah? And we talk about the first industrial revolution yang menggunakan steam dan water tadi tu. Yeah? And what do we see? The whole world, ataupun the whole kampung, hanya 25 orang je yang ada air. Yang 75 lagi tidak ada air. Yeah? So we're talking about my experience in the place. I went to the place to do some social work. Saya nak ambil semayang, saya tanya orang kampung tu, boleh saya semayang tak? Saya nak ambil wuduk. Dia kata, boleh Tan Sri, tapi hari ni tak ada air. Saya tanya, pasal apa tak ada air? Oh, kami tak ada air 42 tahun, Tan Sri. And it was just last year. We were celebrating 60th Merdeka. And this is a kampung yang tidak ada air 42 tahun. Saya hampir terduduk. Yeah? So we are talking about big things, but we have not even solved small things. Yeah? And this is one issue that I think we need to bear in mind. How many of this kampung in Sarawak yang masih tidak ada air, ataupun ada air tapi kualitinya tak senonoh? That will be your dilemma. If you are situated near a kampung, you need to understand that dilemma that other people are facing. That's the first industrial revolution. The second industrial revolution, kalau kita katakan electricity, what is the world punya makeup? Dia kata, the whole world hanya 76 people yang ada air, yang ada electricity, hanya malam. Siang no electricity. Yang 24 lagi langsung tidak ada electricity. So if you're talking about an industry, you can only operate at night. You cannot operate in the daytime because there's no electricity. Again, the same thing. Yeah. Berapa banyak di antara kampung-kampung kita yang masih tidak ada electricity in this particular context. Alright? Tidak ada electricity maknanya tidak ada computerization. As simple as that. You cannot operate a computer without having electricity. And what is the global standard? The global standard is hanya 10 orang saja yang ada komputer yang boleh connect to internet. 90 lagi tidak ada. Right? No computer, they can never be a fourth industrial revolution because they are all computer based. They are all internet based. They are all linked. Internet of things and so on and so forth. Yeah? But the latest statistics that I've got from Times mengatakan 50% of the world population lack internet access. And 62% is from the Asia Pacific region. And this is what I meant when we look at fourth industrial revolution in the context of a continuum. So we will not be able to get fourth industrial revolution until we settle what I call the second industrial revolution, which is 250 years ago. Bukannya semalam, bukannya lusa, 200 tahun dah, tapi soalnya masih belum selesai. That will be the dilemma that we are going to face in this particular context. Yeah? What is the source of all this problem? The global change, climate change, yang benda-benda yang kita ada ni. Research mengatakan, so many research ni, kebanyakan mengatakan we are the problem. You and me are the problem. In fact, mengatakan orang yang berpendidikan yang mempunyai masalah, bukan orang yang tak pergi sekolah. Yeah? And we'll go into that a little bit more. Yeah? So, almost 80% of them mengatakan we are the source of the problem. We as decision makers, we as implementers, we are the one who actually causing this problem, and that's why it is called anthropocentrism. Berpusat kepada kita kerana kita menjadi sumber masalahnya, dan kitalah akan bertanggungjawab tentang apa yang akan berlaku. Right? And therefore the balance between technology dengan orang tadi becomes an issue. It's not a technological problem. It's a human problem that needs to be settled. What is a human problem that needs to be settled? Alright? Give you an example. Okay? This is a statistic on the Earth Overshoot Day. Earth Overshoot Day ni maknanya kita ada budget, katalah setahun, tapi dalam konteks ini Ogos 2 kita dah habis budget kita on a world basis. We have spent all the resources that we need by the 2nd of August. Yang lain itu berhutang, itu dah overdraft. 151 days we are already using the budget of next year. Alright, and this is what we call the overshoot day. And overshoot day ini menampakkan kepada kita bahawa this is a trend. 1977 kita ada off balance kita 660 hari overdraft kita. 10 years later overdraft tu jadi 68 hari. Another 10 years 62 hari. Another 10 years 138 hari. Another 10 years 150 hari. Next year we are predicting the overshoot day will be somewhere in July. Or this year July je dah habis duit. You cannot spend anymore. Yeah? What does that mean? That means our way of life, cara hidup kita masih belum bertukar. Yeah? The kind of consumerism, the kind of things that we do, yeah, is something that still live on for so many years and ending up in this what we call the overshoot day, telling me that we are the problem. Kita tidak boleh mengawal cara kita berhemah ataupun menggunakan apa saja yang ada untuk menjaga alam sekitar kita. Right? Dan kepada orang lain mengatakan kita we are beginning to steal from the future. Because your budget tahun ni dah habis, you have to use the 2019 punya budget. Mana is a future budget that you're going to use. And more of this will happen as the overshoot day becomes increasing very clear. What is the future? The future is our son's future, our daughter's future, our children's future that we are stealing from. And the budget for them, we are beginning to use it today because we are not able to maintain our own discipline in this particular context. Yeah? Sorry also. So dalam negeri-negeri lain, how do they manage this? I go back to this whole idea of STEAM today. Yeah? Other countries, baik USA, baik Jepun, baik France, baik UK, semuanya bukan sahaja mengajar sains dan teknologi, but they also add what I said just now. Humanity, creativity, imagination, ethics, philosophy, semua digabungkan supaya kita dapat pemikiran yang lebih luas. Sedangkan negara-negara di Asia macam kita are still confining only to these technical subjects, the non-social science subject ataupun humanities semua tidak masuk. Yeah? And this is, I think, one of the issues, and that's why courses like this, I think, is very important so that we can broaden our minds and understand what is it that you are missing in this particular context. Yeah? So in the fourth industrial revolution, when we talk about knowledge, when we talk about the human being, we are talking about development of the whole person. Manusia keseluruhannya. Yeah? That's why in buku saya pergi pada tu tadi, basically talk about how do you create a balanced human person. Manusia yang seimbang, insanul kamil. And that's about the development of the whole person. Yeah? Yang berhormat talking about tadi, are we in the first industrial revolution? Yes. We are in the first industrial revolution. Our education system is still what I call the factory model, which is passive, which is directed, which is exam oriented, and we are not developing that whole person. As an educationist, there is something that I will admit. Yeah? And let me show you an example how I arrive at this. You are familiar with a factory, and this is a bread factory. Kalau kita nak buat roti, kita ada dia punya apa ni, what do you call, dia punya raw material, tepung, dan kita buatlah value add dia. Roti kismis ke, roti badam ke, whatever. Yeah? And then kita masukkan in one receptacle, and then kita jalankan on a conveyor belt. Alright? At the end of the conveyor belt, kita adalah mungkin quality control somewhere. Once it passes the quality control, it get into the lorry, then where does it go? It go to the market. Kita jual. Yeah? If I just change the nomenclature, I get a school or I get a university. Yang masuk customer, budak yang tidak ada asas tentang apa yang dia nak belajar, dia lepas STPM ke SPM ke, dia nak jadi doktor, kita kata okay, you go to faculty doktor. Nak jadi engineer, you go to faculty ke engineering. You nak jadi accountant, go. We devise a curriculum for them. And then they go into the class just like they go into a conveyor belt. Kita masuk universiti kan, bunyi loceng kita pergi satu lecture hall, bunyi loceng pergi satu lecture hall lain, bunyi loceng pergi satu lecture hall lain. It's a conveyor belt lah. Lecturernya becomes the operator. Oh, this group datang, aku tring, aku next group datang, ajar aku tring. At the end of the day, what do you do? Exam, quality control. Siapa yang pas masuk tahun 2, the second conveyor belt. Siapa yang tak pas, sorry, out you go. Second year the same thing, different operator, masuk tukar, sampai tahun 4, graduation, convocation, dapat ijazah. Ijazah itu kesudahannya membolehkan kita menjadi produk, dan sudah tentu sebagai produk-produk yang lain kita akan dipasarkan. Sebab tu universiti sibuk dengan employment, employability and all things, because this the first industrial revolution punya education system yang masih kita pakai. Education systemnya first industrial revolution, kita nak membentuk fourth industrial revolution. Boleh ke tak boleh? Agak-agak lah. The system is the first industrial revolution, which is 250 years out of date, and we want to create the fourth industrial revolution. This is my dilemma as a teacher. So I'm telling the minister, until you change the system into the fourth industrial revolution punya education system that deals with the whole person, manusia keseluruhannya, bukan saja human capitalnya, kita tidak akan dapat menyelesaikan masalah the fourth industrial revolution, because the system do not meet the requirement of what you need as far as the fourth industrial revolution is concerned. So YB tadi betul. I was hoping that he sits here and listen to this. Then maybe Sarawak can change the education system first as compared to Kuala Lumpur. So kesusahannya orang yang keluar dalam education system macam inilah. Jadi saya ada lecturers, ini pelajarnya. Yang dipentingkannya I'm marketable. Bila kita kata marketable, mana ada universities, I'm sure everywhere di Sarawak pun, yang mengajar ethics. Mana ada universiti yang mengajar falsafah? Mana ada universiti yang mengajar tentang literature saja? Semuanya nak buat IT, semuanya nak buat commerce, semuanya nak buat benda-benda yang dikatakan marketable without the ethical grounding of what this subject is all about. And therefore, bila kita bercakap tentang the fourth industrial revolution besok, memang kita dihalau oleh dia lebih baik daripada kita. Dia lebih efficient daripada kita. Dia lebih up to date daripada kita. And this becomes a social issue. When you find that we are not compatible, you kata you get out, I can do better work. When you talk about the 3Ds, the 3Ds of dirty, dangerous and dull work, ni dia akan buat. Dan bila kita bercakap tentang AI, kita akan go into another realm of who is the boss. Sekarang ni you are here, you are the CEO, you can tell lah orang bawah buat macam mana, ini buat, itu buat dan sebagainya, because you are the boss, they listen to you. But very soon you've got another boss. The robots will tell you what to do in terms of decision making, because they've got a better way of thinking in terms of the AI. These are issues yang bila orang bercakap tentang the fourth industrial revolution, yang dia tak perkatakan langsung. And this is why I bring it to you today as a kind of a dilemma. What do you do at the end of the day, right? The third one is, I hope, can give you some idea of how do you solve this. A question of artificial intelligence yang menggerakkan robots and so on and so forth, dengan apa yang saya panggil the primordial intelligence yang menggerakkan naluri manusia dalam konteks fitrahnya. And that, I think, the point that I want to discuss with you as a third industrial revolution. Let's look at the system. One game, ini namanya Go, it's a very Chinese game. Yang dikatakan, okay, now this is that guy is called Lee Sedol, is a champion of this Go, world champion. dan disuruh berlawan ataupun bermain dengan satu komputer. Alright, yang ada artificial intelligence, dan keputusannya komputer ini menang 3 kali. Hamba Allah menang 4 kali, sorry. Yang manusia ni menang 1 kali je. Walaupun dia world champion. Maknanya daya pemikiran artificial intelligence menggunakan algoritma ini boleh mengatasi pemikiran manusia. And that's where your boss later on will become the robots. Ya. Dah ada orang kata dalam kata-kata, dia kata if you want to have the 21st century bot, Datuk, ya, you may think about this. One of the members of the bot must be a robot. Kalau tidak, dia kata you are still not on the 21st century. Bayangkan, ya. Very soon dia kata the chairman of the bot must be the robot. Parah kita. Yeah? But this will come. I think this story will come the moment you begin to understand what this is all about in the context of the fourth industrial revolution. Our mission is to solve some of the most important challenges in humanity that is facing. Itu dia punya dakwaan. Robot-robot ini boleh menyelesaikan masalah-masalah yang kita hadapi. Kebuluran, kemiskinan, what they call discrimination and so forth. That is the thinking. But the issue is this. Kalau dalam permainan tadi lah, ya, dalam permainan tadi, kata dia tengah main, tempat dia main ni macam di sini, terbakar. Ya, there's a fire outside. This fella, Mr. Lee ni, dia boleh keluar lari pasal dah terbakar. Tapi komputer itu masih bermain. Dia masih nak menang. Ya, pasal dia tidak ada daya pemikiran yang lain daripada manusia. Fitrahnya tidak terbentuk. That's the difference. And that's the difference that many people do not realize. Kita masih ada cara kita bergerak dalam keadaan yang berbeza, sedangkan komputer itu akan terikat dalam keadaan yang ada. Ya? Namun demikian, semua ini adalah gergasi-gergasi komputer, ya. Stephen Hawking daripada Cambridge, dia mengatakan kalau kita tak betul-betul buat, dia kata the last thing that we do as a species, the moment you create this computer, you will not be able to return to where you were. Yeah? Hypothetical, apocalyptic nightmare scenarios, robots will rule over men. Right? And now there's a massive campaign internationally mengatakan stop killer robots. I'll talk about the killer robots in a while. Yeah? And this comes from the University of Oxford, mengatakan the same thing juga. Go to the other side that wipe us out. Yeah? Where one slip in the development of artificial intelligence could spell curtains for human beings. Now, these are warning that is given to us. If you go into this fourth industrial revolution, ini kemungkinan, dan sekarang ini menjadi kemungkinan besar akan berlaku. So when we talk about this the global imbalance tadi ni, maknanya can we begin to change some of this? But what I'm going to talk to you about is the change is here. Kalau kita katakan dulu this is the global geopolitical aggression. Now Pentagon just released a document maybe about a year ago. Pentagon kata apa? They are already building self-aware killer robots yang boleh diprogramkan untuk melakukan peperangan tanpa manusia. I can tell the robot, you need to kill siapa yang bertudung merah. Yeah? And I just have to stay home. Siapa yang bertudung merah, sorry lah. Yeah? I just need to give the instruction by whatever remote. Habis tudung merah, now saya nak katakan you go and kill siapa yang berjanggut 2 inci panjang. You know, that is already on the card. Ini bukan benda main-main lagi dah. Dia nak hanya mencari satu ketika di mana benda ini boleh dites dalam peperangan-peperangan yang ada. And we are thinking maybe the peperangan will be with North Korea. Yeah, we are thinking that would be one way of testing whether this killer robot will work ataupun tidak. that is the extent, yeah, that we are looking at the fourth industrial revolution, how far it can go and how far it can be a threat to manusia. The justification why I say that. Ya. Mengapa saya katakan demikian? Kerana kita faham bahawa sebagai manusia, bila kita mempunyai intelligence daripada sekolah sampai ke masuk universiti, menjadi CEO, memang kita kepintaran kita meningkat, tapi peningkatannya in a very slow pace. We need to study, we need to do this, we need to do that, and so on and so forth. Kita pertimbangkan ini, kita pertimbangkan itu, semuanya kita pertimbangkan, ya. Tapi kalau bagi robots, dia punya progression is exponential. Dia tak peduli macam saya kata-kata, rumah terbakar ke tak terbakar, dia, it's not my problem. My problem is to do what you ask me to do on the algorithm that you create. And this is what we call the point of singularity, di mana manusia, kepintaran manusia dengan kepintaran mesin tadi akan bertembung. Dan bila dia bertembung, kita dapati konteksnya, kita akan kalah dan mereka akan menang. Dan bila mereka menang, kita akan ada satu lagi spesies yang dipanggil sebagai the post-human. Not you, not me, another species called the post-human ataupun the transhuman. Ini yang bagi saya paling menakutkan. Ya, ini yang paling menakutkan. And this prototype dah wujud pun. Ya, so teknologi itu menjadi satu matlamat, bukan lagi satu alat untuk membantu kita. Right? And you will begin to see this when we talk about where we are going next. Yeah? Simple example. This could be you and your family. Yeah? Bapa dengan laptopnya, anak dengan gadgetnya, ni cucunya pun ada juga. Yeah? You are sharing the same space, but you are in a different world. Duduk makan, makanan sama, tapi dunianya berbeza-beza. Dunianya berbeza. Yeah. This is what I call the technology takeover. Silaturahim daripada manusia tidak lagi penting. Yeah. Tidak lagi penting dalam konteks itu. And people are beginning to translate this into what we call addiction. Now, what is the addiction is all about? Yeah. One study mengatakan bahawa tiap-tiap pagi, the first thing kita bangun, kita akan tengok handphone kita dulu. Betul ke tak betul? Gigi belum gosok, tarik mata pun belum clear, handphone tengok dulu. Itu okey lah. Tapi dia kata dalam satu hari itu, you will look at the handphone 200 times. Sama ada dia bergerak atau tak bergerak, sama ada signal tak ada signal, you akan tengok. Yeah? And some studies mengatakan you tak boleh, tapi mesti tengok juga dalam jangka masa 10 minit. Mesti nak tengok juga. Yeah? Kalau saya tukarkan handphone itu kepada rokok, bangun pagi, isap rokok dulu. Fine. Yeah? Lepas tu isap rokok 200 kali lagi dalam satu hari. Paket 20 itu 10 paket. What does that make you? An addict. Penagih rokok, penagih tembakau. Ataupun some people try to fool themselves, vape lah konon. Yeah? Which is just as dangerous as to smoke. Now, why can't I call you, if you are looking at your handphone in the morning and 200 times a day, that you are now a handphone addict? And that is what I say, the technology takeover. Yeah? Benda-benda yang dikatakan fake news dan sebagainya will go through that. Kita pertimbangan kita sebagai manusia pada ketika itu tidak lagi penting. Hanya yang diberi oleh mesin ini kepada kita. Okay? That's a case. Everybody is connected, but they are connected outside. Yeah? Datuknya ke, cucunya ke, neneknya ke, semua connected, but they are connected extrinsically outside. And what happens now? Your inside is zero. Naluri kita kosong dalam konteks ini. Dan oleh itu now what happens? The computer no longer that things outside us, the computer now can move into yourself. Ya. Dia sekarang ini sudah menjadi sebahagian daripada naluri kita. And that's what I call the technology takeover. Ya. So you can have now, ini otak manusia biasa, ini otak manusia yang technically-nya beracuankan kepada teknologi. Ya. So kita ada, and this is what the post-humans look like. Ya, hidup kita dengan mesin hampir dalam setara. The question is, who is the moral agent? Siapa yang menentukan ini moral ataupun tidak? Bagi contoh ni mungkin tidak begitu baik, tapi dia berlaku di Eropah. Di tempat seperti Barcelona, di tempat seperti Denmark, pelacur-pelacurnya sekarang ini semua robot. Tak ada manusia lah. Why? They can generate more income with robots. Yeah. Now, bila orang pergi melawat robot itu, katalah orang Islam, dia pergi melawat robot itu ke rumah pelacuran ini zina ataupun tak zina ni? Kalau saya tidur dengan komputer saya, is it adultery? After all, it's just a computer. Those are ethical issues that we will be facing. Ada satu lagi kedai yang membuat sekarang ini robot yang boleh sembahyang sebaik-baik sembahyang. Tajwidnya baik, bacaannya baik, tumaninahnya baik, 3 saat bangun, 3 saat lagi naik, turun, kalah kita. Ya. Ini nanti akan dikatakan imam sebaik-baiknya. Baca kita pun gelintang pukang je, tajwid kita tak betul. Ya. Tapi robot ni tajwidnya sebaik-baiknya. Anak-anak yang tidak faham tentang soal-soal ini, mungkin satu masa mengatakan, kita boleh berimamkan robot. Apa salahnya? These are, ladies and gentlemen, the issues of the future that we need to think now before you face the particular problem. And to me, this is an important thing because the prototype of trans and post-human sudah pun ada. It is not something that kita agak-agak lagi. It's already there. It's a question of enhancing it, a question of making it commercial, and therefore it becomes the first robot citizen in the world. You'll be surprised to know adalah di Saudi Arabia. A robot named Sophia yang sudah diberi kerakyatan Saudi Arabia, sekarang ini menapak di Saudi Arabia. Imagine, perempuan, tapi tak berhijab pun. Yang nama Sophia lah, perempuan kan, tapi tak berhijab. Maknanya kita sudah mula celaru. Ya, kalau kita katakan perempuan mesti berhijab, robot ini apa? Perempuan ke tak perempuan? Namanya Sophia. Oh, dia kata it's not a human being, so tak payah berhijab lah. So these are issues yang saya rasakan penting bagi kita memikirkan sekarang, bukan kerana kita tidak mahu the fourth industrial revolution, tapi kaji kita belum habis, kefahaman kita belum habis, research yang kita buat belum selesai. Yeah? And this is what I call the dilemma that we talked about. Yeah? And this then I think becomes the issue. Kalau I want to summarize, yeah? Sebelum the fourth industrial revolution, bila kita third industrial, ideologi masa Marxism ni datang begitu. Pasal dia dah mula kepada capitalism. Ya. Ada Marxism, ada trade union sebagai timbal balasnya kepada apa yang berlaku. Now we are talking about global warming, climate change, fourth industrial revolution. I think we were talking about these issues. Transhuman, posthuman, ethical issues. Are we ready to talk about those issues? If you are not ready to talk about those issues, then I think we might as well stop this for a mind for a while and learn. Orang di Baitul Mal, I'm happy ini di Baitul Mal. Kata isu-isu ini berkaitan dengan akidah, berkaitan dengan fitrah, berkaitan dengan benda-benda yang kita ada kaitan. Yeah? So ini soal. Ini yang saya katakan the biggest dilemma that we will face when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution. Buku-buku sudah ada. Love and Sex with Robots. Bagi orang barat selesai je. Ya, dapat kepada anak kita apa cerita dia? Right? And therefore when we talk about this fourth industrial revolution, let me just talk about this humanizing technology. Bagaimana kita masukkan ciri-ciri kemanusiaan dalam teknologi. And therefore kalau nak cakap STEM, saya bukan science, technology, ethics and engineering and mathematics. Mine will be spirituality, truth, ethics and morality. That is a STEM that we need to put in when we talk about this post-human sort of dimension that is important. Okay? After all, we cannot automate. Naluri manusia ni kita tak boleh otomasikan. Hari ni I want to be moral, tukar maximum moral. Ya, malam ni nak tengok wayang yang agak tak senonoh sikit lah, bertukar moral ni. Ya, Farid Kamil ni wayang tukar immoral sikit, doesn't matter. We cannot automate that. Yeah? So what automates us? Fitrah kita, akidah kita, that automates, and that is not discussed in this context of science and technology strongly. Okay? So the outside and this the inside. We're talking about Internet of Things, but we're not talking about the Internet of the human being per se. Yeah? And kalau ini dah digabungkan, I think we have lost this whole idea of the fourth industrial revolution and the fight with this teknologi yang dapat menguasai minda dan pemikiran kita. Benda ini bukan baru. I go back to Einstein tahun 50-an, dia mengatakan I fear, dulu lagi dah kata ni, I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Yeah? And we begin to see the idiots today. Orang tenggelam, ini berlaku di Florida dan di India. Bukannya nak membantu, ambil gambar dulu. Pasal apa? Pasal nak masukkan ke dalam Facebook. Pasal apa? Pasal nak dapat likes banyak. Yeah? I think this is the group of idiots yang mengatakan ini dibawa ke mahkamah. Mengapa dia mendakwa, mengapa orang ini tidak selamatkan ini? Mahkamah kata tidak ada, there's no necessity in the law for this guy to help this guy. Dan dia lepas. Dia dapatlah 1000 lebih likes-nya. And that's all. So maknanya tahap kemanusiaan kita sudah jadi begitu rendah sekali, hanya untuk menyeronokkan kita benda-benda yang tidak penting pun. Dapat 1000 like, so what? Kalau dapat 1000 itu jadi 1 jutawan, lain cerita juga lah. Tidak, setakat itu saja. Yeah? And these are issues, and I think at the end of the day, so when we talk about putting human beings before the machine, it is not going to be just one booklet like this. It's going to be many discussion that you need to bring back the humanity into technology, and how do you do that? Yeah? So I've given you a very rough sketch of what is the issue. Putting humanity before the machine, we've got two choices. One is if you look at the events, just talk about the technology, work just on the machine, and you'll get that. Yeah? But that machine will be heartless. Kemanusiaannya dan pre-kemanusiaannya, keinsanannya tidak ada. Satu lagi choice adalah kita melihatnya dari segi yang lain. It's a continuity event, understand it, kesannya khususnya kepada masyarakat dan manusia. Ya? Dan apa itu kemanusiaan yang perlu kita perbetulkan dalam konteks agama dan kefahaman nilai, dan kesudahannya bagaimana kita memperkasakan balik fitrah kita, iaitu kalbu kita. Ya? Kalau ini dapat kita lakukan, saya rasa kita boleh jadi pembimbing kepada the fourth industrial revolution. Ya? We can guide the fourth industrial revolution rather than what I see now. The fourth industrial revolution is imposed on us. We have no sense of what this is all about, and we just do it because it's a mechanical thing that ought to be done. Yeah? Let me just finish with this. It's not a lost cause, kerana kita ada kepintaran kita sendiri. Yeah? We've got all this creativity, as I mentioned to you, kalau tempat tu terbakar, kita boleh lari, robot tak boleh lari pasal dia tidak ada creativity, they don't have an innate decision making themselves. Yeah? More important than that, kita menggunakan kepintaran kita untuk membuat satu lagi kepintaran yang dikatakan artificial intelligence ini, dan boleh mengatasi kepintaran kita. I think ini something tak betul lah ni. Yeah? Kita buat something yang boleh mengatasi kewujudan kita sendiri. Sebab tu dalam silat dan sebagainya ini dijaga. Ya, this adab ini dijaga. But here we have lost. We have got only one more thing left. And that's what I call the primordial intelligence. Ini fitrah manusia itu, apabila Allah menghembuskan nafasnya kepada kita, this is what it is. Di mana ini dalam perbicaraan kita? Ya? Di mana ini dalam perbicaraan kita? Di mana letaknya naluri fitrah tadi in this particular context? And I think this is what we are now trying to advocate. Ya, kita sudah ada modul tentang misalnya pembentukan kalbu tadi tu, because that's where the primordial intelligence is. Kepimpinan berasaskan kalbu. Bagaimana kita mengasuh kalbu ini supaya ia menjadi pembimbing kepada teknologi, bukan teknologi menjadi tuan kepada kita. Ini soal yang saya rasa paling penting dalam konteks ini. Ya. Dan ini bukan saja berkenaan dengan Islam. Orang kalau bila bincang dengan orang Buddhis misalnya, dia kata ya, we have the same thing. Kita ada fitrah, dia ada karma misalnya. Ya. Karma juga menentu keinsanannya dan juga ketuhanan kepada mereka. This is the issue yang tidak dibicarakan. Kita melabur berjuta-juta ringgit tentang ini, tapi berapa sen yang kita labur? Sini saya harapkan Baitul Mal will think about this. Other industry will invest on that. I think the Baitul Mal and the Muslim industry needs to invest on this. Supaya artificial intelligence dengan primordial intelligence ini dia segera ataupun melebihi this artificial intelligence. Until you do that, we will be the slave of the artificial intelligence, and you have seen some of the consequence that I've mentioned to you. Yeah? So we need to go into what I call the post-anthropocentric era, yeah, yang menggunakan balik the advantages that we have in the context of the spirituality yang kita ada. Yeah? We are now drowning into technology, we are stuffed into spirituality. Yeah? Kita penuh dengan teknologi, tapi kita kebuluran ataupun masih terdesak tentang soal-soal hikmah dan juga kerohanian ini. So I would like to talk about what I call the fifth human revolution, which probably will be the next time. Yeah? But to summarize it, I'll do this. Sebagai manusia, dalam kerja kita yang biasa, sebagai CEO, sebagai kerani, sebagai apa sajalah, kita akan cuba meningkatkan sebaik-baik yang mungkin dunia kita sendiri. Ya? Menggunakan minda kita, menggunakan pemikiran kita, menggunakan pendidikan kita yang masih di peringkat revolusi 1.0, dan cuba memperbaiki alam sekitar dan dunia kita. That's fine. Ya? Dalam konteks itu kita merasakan kita inilah yang lebih penting daripada orang lain. Manusia inilah yang lebih penting daripada segala-galanya. Kita sekarang ni cuba nak membawa satu lagi dimensi yang sekarang ni ketinggalan dalam pendidikan, dalam pengurusan, dalam kepimpinan, semua yang saya rasa ketinggalan, yang berpaksikan kepada kalbu. Di mana kita boleh menggerakkan nilai kemanusiaan, keinsanan, di mana kita boleh memperkukuhkan akidah, di mana kita boleh menjadi rakan silaturahim kepada semua orang, directing the inner world. When you connect these two together, then we create another purpose of life. Bukan saja nak mencari keuntungan, bukan saja nak mencari kemewahan, bukan saja nak mencari keselesaan, tetapi juga untuk mencari keredaan Allah SWT ataupun Tuhan yang mencipta kita. Ya? Dengan pertembungan kedua ini, kita merasakan this can happen. Dan manusia itu akan bergerak mengikut makam-makamnya, kesudahannya menjadi insanul kamil dengan mengadakan kedua-dua perimbangan dunia dan akhirat, membawa kebaikan kepada dirinya dari segi keamanannya, keadilannya, dan juga keharmonian hidup. Dan ini is what we call the fifth human revolution yang kita sedang mula. Ya, insyaAllah, I think maybe in 6 months time, if you invite me, I'll talk about the fifth human revolution. Bagaimana kita boleh menggerakkan manusia itu bila teknologi sudah sampai kepada tahapnya, manusia must take over. We cannot surrender ourselves to the machines, no matter how sophisticated they are. And I think this is where the kalbu becomes an important tool for us to work on. Okay? So on that note, pukul 11 dah, I think 1.5 hours insyaAllah, saya akhiri dengan mengatakan bahawa industri revolusi keempat ini penting, tetapi kepentingannya bergantung bagaimana kita membuat tafsiran, bagaimana kita memahaminya, dan sudah tentu dalam pembicaraan ini kita mesti memahaminya lebih daripada apa yang kita hanya tahu berkenaan dengan industri, pergerakan industri, ekonomi dan sebagainya, di mana pembicaraan itu sekarang begitu. Dia berlegar hanya kepada ekonomi, dia berlegar kepada industri, tetapi tidak membawa aspek-aspek lain yang penting yang seperti mana saya cuba tunjukkan tadi. So on that note, saya akhiri dan saya berterima kasih sekali kepada MPC dan juga Baitul Mal kerana memberi peluang ini untuk kita berbicara. Kalau ada apa soalan yang nak ditanya, insyaAllah we have time for this. We can talk about it. So saya akhiri dengan wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Demikian tadi kita bersama yang berbagai Profesor Tan Sri, dan seketika kita bersama yang berbagai datuk-datuk, ketua-ketua jabatan dan div-div jabatan dalam sesi soal jawab. Kita buka ruang untuk hadirin yang beriman di dalam dewan ini untuk mengutarakan, mengemukakan persoalan kepada yang berbahagia. Profesor Tan Sri, dipersilakan.
Yang tak ditanya ataupun yang tak setuju, ataupun yang tak setuju yang dirasakan, please. Sila.
Saya nak tanyalah, kalau kita lihat di fourth revolution tadi dengan 5 tu, because as you are telling us just now, you're trying to come up with this nurturing a balanced cosmos, harmony, peace and harmony and so on. What will be the challenges that you're going to face? Because of course yang lebih suka kepada techno-egocentric power ni, dia akan cari jalan bagaimana nak menghentikan spiritual strength ni. They will do their very best, definitely. Okay, I just need your views on it.
Very good question. This is where people like me becomes sort of important, because kita berbalik-balik kepada soal-soal definisi. Banyak perkara-perkara yang kita ambil dalam ini, kita mengambil definisinya dalam apa yang diberi sekarang. I've not gone into the more complicated things which I don't want to bring it now. Yeah. Misalnya kalau kita faham tentang ketemadunan yang ada sekarang ini. Yeah. Ketemadunan ini datangnya daripada asas apa? Asasnya adalah asas dunia barat yang menidakkan sifat-sifat kemanusiaan itu. We will go into the discussion of the age of reason, the enlightenment misalnya. Manusia sudah mengatakan bahawa dalam konteks abad ke-15 mengatakan bahawa manusia sudah boleh menyelesaikan semua masalah. We don't need God. Kita tidak perlu kepada Tuhan dan ketuhanan. Daripada itu timbulnya sains dan teknologi. Daripada itu timbulnya STEM. Ini rentetan-rentetan yang perlu kita faham. Ya, maknanya nilai yang kita bawa ni sekarang, Datuk, ada nilai yang sudah tidak ada lagi tempat di mana kita nak meletakkan kerohanian. Semalam saya berbincang dengan Kementerian Pendidikan. Ya, dalam Kementerian Pendidikan dia kata kita mesti menghasilkan manusia seimbang. Seimbangnya dalam falsafah kita adalah intelek, jasmani, emosi dan rohani. Tapi ternyata dalam perbincangan itu, keseimbangan rohani dengan intelek itu tidak ada. Bila kita berbincang balik tentang soal bully, soal sexual harassment dan sebagainya, ini tidak ada. Sebab itu menjadi kemelut dalam masyarakat. So, people like me will need to argue that if you talk about the education system di Malaysia, kita perlu memperkasakannya. Supaya soal-soal begini tidak timbul. Dunia barat nak buat tidak mengapa, kata itu falsafah dia. Tapi bagi kita, kita patut mempunyai kefalsafah dan kefahaman yang lain. I will not discuss with you, but in my book I give you, Dato', you will read. Saya misalnya tidak selesa dengan istilah modal insan. Modal insan datangnya daripada teori New Liberal yang mengatakan manusia itu kerjanya hanya untuk mencari wang untuk ekonomi. Itu je. That is by definition. Tapi oleh kerana kita tidak peka dengan istilah ini, kita menggunakannya. Kita mesti membangunkan modal insan yang sebaik-baiknya. Macam mana nak bangun modal insan sebaik-baiknya? Modal insan tu dari konsepnya dah tak baik. Ya, dia dah kosong. Dia dah lompong. Ya. Tapi oleh kerana kita tak faham, kita menggunakan ini. So, dalam Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi dia tidak menggunakan lagi dah. Dia kata, we are not going to, kita nak menggunakan perkataan insan saja. Kita nak membangunkan insan kerana kesudahannya kita punya journey is insanul kamil. Ya. Mana saya pergi kedai buku, saya ada satu buku hadis modal insan katanya. Mana datangnya Rasulullah, kau tengok agaknya ni menangis dia katanya. Ya. Istilah modal insan dalam Islam tidak wujud langsung. Ada syariah modal insan kata. Human Capital Development Syariah. So I think basically that question is very important. Organization like MPC, Baitul Mal needs to look into this. If I can share you a suggestion yang kita buat dengan MPC, kita mengatakan macam mana kita boleh bawa masuk maqasid syariah dalam kefahaman productivity. Ya, dan bila saya mendengar YB bercakap tadi, bila dia katakan safety is important, which I totally agree, and I'm sure all of us will totally agree. Kalau kita balik kepada maqasid syariah, salah satu daripada perlu yang kita pertahankan adalah nyawa. Nyawa mesti ada kaitannya dengan safety. So we are already beginning to make the link. Yeah. So dalam perbicaraan saya dengan KP, insyaAllah kita will bring it to the board 29 bulan ini di Sarawak juga. Yeah. Kita merasakan ukuran productivity must be nyawa, intelek, harta, keturunan dan akidah. I think this is where we need to do. To solve this problem, we need to go back to the basic where we started. When we get the basic right, insyaAllah we will move in the right way. Yeah? Any more questions? Sila. Can you use the mic?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Profesor. Berkenaan dengan saya melihat keseluruhan tadi, ini orang kata cabaran kepada kita pendakwah. Bila kita berdakwah kepada masyarakat di Masjid Surau, nilai-nilai ini yang tidak ditekankan kepada mereka, sebab generasi penerus yang akan menjaga surau masjid itu dikatakan sangat, orang kata, risiko. Tak ada yang orang kata tadi nak mencapai tahap ini. Mereka lebih kepada orang kata industrial teknologi. Jadi masyarakat yang tengok dalam surau tu kebanyakan yang dah pencen dah nak habis dah. Ini yang menjadi masalah. Yang ni yang orang kata challenge yang kita ada pada masa sekarang lah. Jadi apa solution yang terbaik ya, kalau kita sebagai pendakwah ni untuk masyarakat yang kata di sini?
Dari konteks apa? Dari konteks First Industrial Revolution bukan?
First tadi. Yang kita yang masih awal lagi kita. Banyakkan orang tak tahu benda ni.
Bagi saya di masyarakat masyarakat umum lah, bila saya berinteraksi dengan mereka, pertamanya kita mesti perjelaskan bahawa teknologi yang ada adalah untuk keselesaan manusia. Ini yang satu generasi muda misalnya, ya. Di USIM sajalah, ini Universiti Sains Islam, ya. Kita membuat survei berapa ramai daripada pelajar-pelajar kita agaknya dalam lingkungan yang hampir ketagih kepada teknologi. 75%. 75% ramai. Maknanya kita tidak faham. Kita, kalau saya nak guna soal istilah yang agak kasar, kita mempertuhankan teknologi. I'm sorry to say that. Ya, kita menganggapkan teknologi itu seolah-olah kita hamba kepadanya, bukan dia menghamba kepada kita. And this is what I call the technology takeover tadi. Tahu tak kita bahawa Samsung ada satu model, ya, yang kalau kita pasang teknologi itu, TV. Kalau pasang TV itu, dia punya kuasanya, dia boleh merakam apa yang saja yang berlaku di dalam rumah kita. That's a kind of technology yang sudah dibina sekarang ini. Tapi kita sebagai orang awam tak tahu. Ya. Handphone kita ini sudah boleh menentukan di mana nanti kedudukan kita dalam keadaan yang biasa pun. Ya, kita visitlah website itu, website ini, kesudahannya yang YB kata big data tadi itu datangnya daripada itu. Tengku website mana dia pergi? Datuk tengku website mana dia pergi? Big data ini boleh memberi mereka satu anggaran bahawa kalau populasi di Sarawak ini dia trendnya. So kalau kita nak melakukan pasaran, ini kita boleh lakukan. Kalau kita nak memusnahkan, ini kita boleh lakukan. So kita sudah seolah-olah memberi mereka apa saja maklumat yang mereka nak, yang peribadi kepada kita. Tapi kita digalakkan menggunakan handphone ni sebanyak yang mungkin. Kerananya apa? Kerananya mereka akan mengutip data ni. Biasa bila dia kata there's cookies, we say no, I say no. Because I don't want them to track my movement in this particular context. So kefahaman kita kepada teknologi itu perlu dilawati semula. Saya kata saya bukan menidakkan, tetapi sekurang-kurangnya there are technologies yang misalnya kita perlu, there are technologies yang kita tidak perlu. Kita mesti tahu apa yang kita perlu dan tidak perlu, dan membuat judgementnya. That is your role as a CEO. When your boss say, Mat, gunakan teknologi ini, you say, tunggu dulu, saya nak kaji. Tapi masalah Malaysia ini, bila kita kata buat, kita buat besok ni. Kita tidak ada siasat, kita tidak ada. And this is something I think that we need to start to come back. Ya, untuk tahu di mana kita nak bergerak untuk masa depan, khususnya bagi umat-umat yang ada akidah yang sekarang ini mula diperkuasa. Misalnya lah, dalam nanti dihantar satu ayat Quran yang salah. Kita tak tahu, saya tak tahu. Ya, kita dengar bacaannya bagus, oh ini bagus lah ni. Tambahlah dia kata doa dan sebagainya. Ya, this is something I think that we need to be very, very mindful of in the context of technology sekarang. By the way, I don't know whether you have read the latest story. Sudah ada sekarang ni di UK, bulan April, 3 bulan April adalah hari membunuh orang Islam. I don't know whether you have read this. Maybe I can send it to Tengku tu ni. Dia ada points. Pada 3 hari bulan April itu, kalau orang boleh menarik hijab orang perempuan, dia dapat 25 poin. Kalau dia boleh maki kepada orang Islam, dia dapat 10 poin. Kalau dia boleh bakar masjid, dia dapat 1000 poin. Dia jadi satu pertandingan di antara mereka, bagaimana mereka hendak menggunakan alat-alat ini untuk memperkecilkan orang-orang Islam. This is a technological thing that is coming now in this context. So I think we need to be very careful about this dalam soal ini. Ya? Khususnya generasi-generasi muda. Anak saya misalnya, ya, ada bila handphone keluar aja dia mesti nak beli handphone baru. Handphone lama baru beli 3 minggu lalu. Nak handphone ni juga. Ya, becomes an addiction in this particular context. I think you need to understand where this is coming from. Right? Okay, any more? Sila.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yang berbahagia Tan Sri, saya Awang Fadilah Awang Hussein daripada Jabatan Bekalan Ailua Bandar. Saya ada persoalan. Saya menanggapi bahawa Revolution 4 ini, 4.0 ini adalah satu proses untuk merobotkan manusia, dan kita talking about to humanize the machine 5.0. Jadi persoalan saya, bagaimanakah cara kita untuk mendidik masyarakat kita ataupun staff kita yang dalam era teknologinya tetapi masih bersistemkan first revolusi, yang mananya pemikirannya daripada sudut pandangnya, dari sudut thought, pemikiran. Tetapi kita dalam dunia teknologi, dia ada macam ada kecelaruan di situ, yang mana kita nak fourth revolution, at the same time the system is still in the first revolution, and we are moving toward this primordial intelligence, to put it spiritual strength into it. So masyarakat pun melalui kecelaruan minda, kecelaruan attitude dan sebagainya. Bagaimana kita mendepani kalau kita sebagai CEO ataupun ketua di jabatan tertentu, yang akhirnya pekerja-pekerja yang kita dapat adalah orang yang berteknologi tetapi bersistemkan the first revolution. So bagaimana kita nak mendepani ataupun kita memberi input kepada mereka ini. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, very good question. I think kita mula patut mendisiplinkan manusia. I'll give you a simple example di University Sains Malaysia lah. Ya. Bila kita mula-mula nak membantu pelajar pekerja-pekerja kita datang cepat, kita buat apa? Kita buat perakam waktu. Ya. So, sebelum datang mesti rakam waktu, pukul 8 akan ternyata pukul 8. Ya. Selepas 10 tahun, perakam waktu itu masih di situ. Dan malah selepas 10 tahun ada orang menjaga perakam waktu itu pula, menentukan orang yang merakam waktu itu betul-betul jujur merakam waktu. You see my point? Yeah? Because we do not have the discipline as a human being dulu. Ini kalau kita lihat anak-anak Jepun misalnya. Jadi saya, ini perbincangan semalam dengan pengajian pendidikan tinggi. Ya. Anak-anak Jepun umur 3 tahun sudah diasuh macam mana menyusun kasut. Sebab tu bila kita pergi rumah Jepun, bila kita masuk, susut kasut kita mesti menghadap. Bila kita keluar, kita sarung je, kita jalan. Kalau rumah Melayu, kita kena pusing dulu. Itu mencek kasut dulu. Mana kasut aku ni? Ya. So mereka mendisiplinkan diri mereka dulu dan menggunakan mesin untuk meningkatkan disiplin itu. Whereas kita 100% bergantung kepada mesin, tetapi tidak mendisiplinkan diri kita, dan mesin itu menjadi tempat kita bergantung. I think that's the first thing that I think I notice in this particular context. Yeah? So oleh itu kita membeli gadget yang besar-besar dengan harapan kita boleh mendisiplinkan diri kita dengan mesin-mesin sedemikian. And I think it does not work anymore. So this is why when I talk about the primordial intelligence, we go back to how do we discipline ourselves first before we go into the machine to help us to move into the next level. So the disconnect that I talked about, if you talk about the first industrial revolution, now we are in, yeah, before going to the fourth, how do you manage the disconnect? And I think that's our solution. How do you manage the disconnect? Yeah? Soal, contoh yang saya selalu beri. Yeah? Kalau kita semayang Zuhur lah, kata lepas ini kita nak balik sembahyang Zuhur, lepas dengar ceramah ni pening kepala aku, penat aku lagi. Yeah? So Zuhur ni tak payah 2 rakaat lah kot, tak payah 4 rakaat lah, 2 cukup lah. Yeah? Dan kita masuk dalam bilik, kunci, saya masuk hotel, kunci bilik, padam lampu, tutup tirai, sembahyang 2 rakaat. Orang tak nampak. Tapi kita tak buat. Kita tak buat. Pasal disiplin yang ada kepada kita mengatakan this cannot be done and this will not be done. Walaupun tak ada orang nampak. That's the kind of discipline that we want to bring into the workplace. Mengapa semayang boleh 4 rakaat walaupun kita penat sepenat-penatnya, tapi nak datang ke pejabat pukul 8 tepat, susah. Pasal apa? Where is this disconnect? And that's where I think the primordial intelligence play. The discipline that we have in that akidah becomes a discipline that do not at the end of the day needs any machine. I don't need to have a robot in my room to know whether I pray 4 tahun, 4 kali, 5 kali sehari. I can discipline myself. And this is where I think we notice, dalam satu lagi apa ni, Finland. Saya bercakap dengan ketua pengarah pendidikan Finland. Saya, macam mana Finland ini boleh menjadi ada pendidikan yang begitu baik? Saya mengharapkan dia kata, well, we've got this technology, that technology. Dia punya answer kepada saya simple. We work on a culture of trust. Because saya, Tengku dah bagi saya satu amanah untuk menjalankan ceramah. I take that trust and I value that trust. Saya tanya dia, what about if somebody betray your trust? Oh, dia kata, it's a difficult question to answer. I've been a DG for 10 years. Dia kata, nobody has betrayed my trust. Wah, ini satu jawapan. Kalau di Malaysia tu, dalam satu hari 10 people has betrayed my trust. You know, dia dalam 10 tahun seorang pun does not betray their trust. Dia kata, why? Because the moment I trust him, he has what he call the pride of work. You trust me to give this lecture, I want to show my pride of work to you. And therefore my slides will be the best that I can do. It's not something that I'm going to say, satu setengah jam, okay, habis. No. I value that pride of work. And therefore masing-masing menjaga kerja mereka. Menentukan the pride of work is preserved. Kesudahannya di Finland apa? Dia kata, my teacher is never accessed. Tidak ada penilaian bagi guru-guru mereka. They've come to the level that I don't need the quality control, I don't need anymore, because I can assure you the quality control is there. And indeed, kalau kita pergi ke Finland, tidak kira di mana sekolahnya, di hujung atau di hulu ataupun di bandar, dia punya variation is just 5%. I can send my anak ke mana-mana saja, I can get the same education. No matter. Kita sini kita pinjam alamat. Nak pergi sekolah baik, di mana dekat sekali, boleh pinjam alamat tak? Supaya anak kita boleh pergi sekolah yang terdekat, iaitu sekolah baik. That is a kind of thing that when we talk about the primordial intelligence, that we need to start developing it as part, if we want to talk about in terms of context of PPC, is a part of productivity. How do you build this in? Yeah? And the machine comes second as a kind of a support system. I don't know whether I answer your question, but I think we need to start internally. The process is, as I say, inside out rather than outside in. I think our processes now are all outside in. Tak ada bos, tak payah datang. Because boss tidak ada. Yeah? But now it's inside out. Boss ada, tak apa. It's inside out. It's my duty to come and listen. And that, I think, is the thinking that we are now trying to build in once we understand this, inshallah. Yeah? Okay, I don't know whether we need to go on, but if there is any last question, mungkin. That's from a lady. It's good. Okay, Sila. Can you use the mic, please?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm just curious, Prof, what do you think the role of religious organizations or religious bodies in this fourth industrial revolution? Because I think at the moment, this is just based on my own hypothesis or my own observation, that religious organizations tend to shy away from technology. Thank you very much.
It's a very important question. This is a question that we are facing in USIM juga. Yeah? Bila kita bercakap tentang ni, dia ambil jalan senang dia. Dia kata ini bid'ah ni, tak payah bincang habis. You know, you can't even move into the discussion. Berarti teknologi ni bid'ah, tak payahlah habis. Yeah? Tapi bila dia pergi khutbah, dia pakai teknologi. Dia pakai mikrofon. This is the problem. So I think we need to transcend this whole idea of what technology is all about. Ya. Kalau kita balik kepada dunia Islam dan pendidikannya, abad ke-7, abad ke-10. Ya. Abad ke-7 ke abad ke-12. Ya. Orang-orang Islam masa itu bila membangunkan teknologi yang secanggih-canggihnya pada ketika itu. Ya. semua orang ini mempunyai sekurang-kurangnya 5 bidang ataupun lebih. Saya ambil satu penyelidik yang saya kaji agak mendalam, Al-Kindi. Al-Kindi boleh menguasai 14 bidang. Di antara bidangnya sudah tentu agama, ya, astronomi, mathematics, science, music dan sebagainya. Dan Al-Kindi ini dalam abad ke-10 menulis 200 buku. Saya ada PhD, kita ada PhD, kita tahu sikit saja. Dan antara keseluruhannya, kita tahu sikit saja. Dan kita sudah dipanggil sebagai expert. Dan dipanggil oleh MPC untuk memberi ceramah. Ya. Dan saya tak menulis buku 200 pun. So, soalnya sekarang ini bagaimana kita melihat ilmu dari segi orang-orang agama dan orang-orang bukan agama lah. How do you look at knowledge? Is it hanya bidang-bidang yang kita pakar saja dan bidang-bidang lain tidak betul? Ya? Sebab itu di USIM saya bawa the Secretary General of Nigerian Islamic Society, Professor Ishak Oluyade. Kalau masuk USIM, Tengku agak ingat ada satu lambang dia kata Iqra. Ya, dia bagi ceramah pada pelajar-pelajar saya, dia tanya, I come to your university, I see this word Iqra. Iqra what? Diam. Ya. Dia tanya, Iqra what? Angkat tangan. Iqra Sunnah and Quran. No. Dia kata Iqra all knowledge, because all knowledge belongs to God. Sains, teknologi, ini semua all belongs to God. Dia kata kita mesti baca semua saja. Jadi ini masalah. Bila kita bercakap tentang ulama, kita hanya bercakap tentang seolah-olah dia hanya ada parameternya sendiri. Bercakap tentang orang saintis, hanya ada parameternya sendiri. Bercakap tentang accountant, ada parameternya sendiri. Mereka kita tidak jadi macam orang Al-Kindi. I must be a scientist and ulama, accountant at the same time. Bukan tahu semua, tapi sekurang-kurangnya I can connect the dots. And this is where we are trying to do it. Usim debat itu kita panggil University Science Islam. Kita nak connectkan balik Islam dengan sains itu dan sains dengan Islam itu supaya mereka boleh menjadi apa yang YB kata itu. Dia Islam tapi dia accountant. Dia Islam, dia scientist. Dia Islam, dia... Those are the things. I think that mindset issue is the biggest issue. And I hope these are the kind of courses that you will arrange so that we increase the span of knowledge. Ya, bagi orang yang dah faham ilmu, bagi ilmu yang mungkin non-religious. Bagi saya yang non-religious ni, bila saya masuk USIM, rupanya macam-macam yang saya tak tahu. Macam-macam saya. Bila saya start to make the connection, then we begin to talk about makasih syariah with productivity. Apa salahnya? Kalau orang agama kata makasih syariah ni menentukan hukum saja. Say, why can't you use makasih syariah tentang productivity? Why can't we redefine? Yeah? Why can't we talk makasih syariah dari segi pembangunan lestari? Yeah? Why can't we talk this in different terms? I think this begin to open up new ideas and new ways of thinking, insyaAllah. Yeah. So saya mengharapkan bahawa this particular exposure today will allow us to think bigger and better, and I think Sarawak has got that motivation to move forward and to bring this into a bigger platform of discussion. There's no right and wrong for this. Hanya dari segi apa yang kita nak bawa dan bagaimana kita nak mencorakkan masa hadapan kita. Yeah. So atas itu saya amat berterima kasih di atas peluang ini. Dan saya mengucapkan selamat maju jaya dan juga minta maaf kalau ada apa-apa yang tersinggung dan tidak kena dalam pembicaraan tadi. Wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Majlis merakamkan jutaan terima kasih kepada yang berbahagia Profesor Tan Sri Datuk Dzulkifli Abdul Razak, pengurusi Lembaga Pengarah Universiti Sains Islam Malaysia USIM, yang telah menyampaikan ceramah yang bertajuk Fourth Industrial Revolution, The CEO Dilemma. Seperti tadi yang cukup berinformasi dan sebagai informasi kita bersama. Dan setiap permulaan pastinya ada pengakhirannya. Nampaknya kita telah sampai ke penghujung majlis. Juta terima kasih kepada Yang Bahagia Tan Sri, Yang Bahagia Datuk-Datuk serta div-div jemputan dan semua pihak telah menjayakan CEO Talk siri pertama 2018 pada hari ini. Dan saya Muhammad Izam bin Omar mewakili pihak majlis memohon kemaafan jika ada sebarang kesilapan dan kekurangan sepanjang majlis ini berlangsung. Untuk itu saya sudahi dengan sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.